You guys, today we are going to do a whole reading vlog, reading our highest and lowest rated books from our February TBR according to GoodReads. We have seen this video going around a little bit and we knew we wanted to participate, so we thought this would be the perfect month to do it. Technically, the highest book on both of our February TBRs was Powerless, but we already read that together in a different video, so we'll be reading our next highest rated books for this video.
So The Wedding Date by Jasmine Guillory is actually my lowest rated book on my TBR for this month. It has a rating of 3.58 with 146,147 ratings. I think that's pretty solid for a romance story. So I'm ready to see if I'm gonna feel the same way. This book has been on my shelf for quite some time and I actually do own a few Jasmine Guillory books, so I'm hoping that I'll like this one so that I'll want to read all of her other books. I have been reading romance books all month, so I think right now I'm kind of being a little bit picky just because it's all that I've read. But we'll see. Hopefully I love it.
I think I'm actually gonna start opposite. I'm gonna start with my highest rated book for the month, and it is Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. This is the sequel to One Dark Window in the Shepherd King duet, and on GoodReads it has a 4.49 out of 61,744 reviews. This is like a fantasy romantasy type of book. I really enjoyed book one. It has a very unique magic system, so I'm ready to see what book two is going to entail, especially because book one ended kind of crazy. I think this will be a fun one for today, so I can't wait to get into it.
We have a full day of reading ahead of us. I'm interested to see if we're going to feel the same way that the rating is on GoodReads. We're going to read for a little bit and then come back and update you guys with how we're feeling and what's happening in our books.
Guys, we have been reading for a little bit. So we did want to update you guys and let you know how our books are going.
This one is already starting off really cute. So we're following Alexa and Drew, and they actually end up getting stuck in an elevator together, so it's kind of like a meet cute. And while they're stuck in the elevator, they end up just sitting down, chatting, and like eating snacks while they wait for the elevator to be fixed. And they already have such a cute banter, and it's just fun just kind of seeing them like eat cheese and crackers and like getting to know each other. After they end up getting out of the elevator, Drew ends up asking Alexa if she would be his date to his ex-girlfriend's wedding since his date bailed on him. And she's already like, okay, wait, I think I like this guy, like he's really cute. She likes his personality and everything. So she ends up saying yes. I do really like them together, but I was a little bit surprised that the wedding, it's already happened, and it happens like page 30. And I was just expecting us to have just like a little bit more time for them to like have those new and fresh little butterfly feelings before going into the wedding. But it just happened so quickly. And now I'm just kind of feeling like, what else is going to happen with the rest of the book? Because we've already done the wedding, and I feel like that was the whole point. The wedding itself was really cute, though. I do love fake dating. Fake dating is one of my most favorite romance tropes, so it was really fun seeing him bring this girl and then see all these other characters that Drew has in his life, and how Alexa kind of plays the game of like, this is my man, you know? I think it's going good. I'm just interested to see what else is going to happen throughout this book.
Mine's going so well, you guys. I'm only a third of the way in. Book one ends off on somewhat of a cliffhanger, so it's been really fun finally getting to see like what happens. Book two takes place as soon as book one ends. I didn't realize how much I missed these characters, but now that I'm reading about them, I'm just so happy to be back in this world. We are getting more POVs than we did in book one, which I think is interesting because we were really only following Elspeth and Raven in book one, and in this one we have a new point of view, so I think that's gonna add like another layer as well. we're gonna get to learn more about this character and see things from his perspective. So I'm excited for that. But this magic, you guys, this is the story that has all of the magic through playing cards. And it's like anyone can access these cards, anyone can access the magic within the cards. Each of the cards gives the user a different ability. Book one, we really explored what each of the cards do, and this one, we're on a quest and we're trying to right all of the wrongs that happen in book one. So it's going well so far. I feel like this world could have a trilogy, so the fact that this is going to be the end of the story blows my mind. I can't wait to see where it goes.
So it sounds like our books are going pretty well, so we're going to keep on reading and then come back and update you guys in a little bit.
Alright you guys, we have been reading for a couple more hours. We wanted to stop and update you, let you know how our books are going, how we're feeling about them, and all of that. Before we do get into the updates though, we did want to take a second to talk about Magic Mind because we did take our Magic Mind at the end of our last update. You guys know we've been taking Magic Mind for the past couple of weeks. They are these little productivity shots that help boost energy and focus.
We used to have issues with productivity and focus on days like today when we are reading for hours, but we have noticed a huge difference in our moods and productivity since taking these. They have all these natural ingredients which we love, and they can replace or be taken alongside your caffeine.
We've both been enjoying our experience so far with taking Magic Mind, so that's why we wanted to update you guys on it and let you know how that's going. We also wanted to remind you that if you are interested, we do have a discount code, so we will leave that along with their link in the description. So definitely check them out if you've been thinking about it, because we have definitely noticed a difference. It's something that we've implemented in our daily routine. Make sure to check them out. Thank you Magic Mind for sending us our new box of productivity shots.
So mine is going really good so far. I am obsessed with our main character, Alexa. She is this successful, curvy, gorgeous black woman. She's actually the mayor's chief of staff, which is insane. And then Drew is a pediatric surgeon. So they are both extremely successful people. And after the wedding, when they had like this really great time together, they both ended up having to fly back home. So we have this little like long distance situation happening. They're both like constantly busy, but then they're both constantly thinking about each other, and they clearly want to make something work. I also like that Alexa is kind of like an overthinker, and she's just a really emotional person, and I find myself relating to a lot of things that she says and a lot of things that she feels. So I really do like her as a main character, but at this point I really just want Alexa and Drew to talk to each other. I think there's a lot of repetition happening. They're just both stuck at this point of like wanting to be together but not telling each other that they want to be together, and not telling each other that they're willing to like do the long distance thing in order to have a relationship, and it's kind of a little bit annoying to read about. And I think some of that comes from, like I said earlier, the wedding happening on page 30. I just think if there was a little bit more before the wedding where we got to know more about our characters and things like that, I would rather be reading about them being excited about going to this wedding or like seeing each other before the wedding, rather than them constantly having this repetition of miscommunication. That's just me though. We'll see what happens. I'm hoping that the ending will be really cute to make up for it.
Mine is still going really well. I can see though why people may not like the sequel as much as book one, only because like I said, we're following new people, and I feel like at least for the romantasy aspect of this book, we're getting a whole other couple, but I kind of love it. Basically right now their kingdom is in peril and there's a quest happening to save everyone. I also love whenever our point of views are in different places. So we're getting to see what's happening in the castle, and then we're getting to see what's happening with the group of people who are on this quest. And I just think that makes it more interesting because there's a lot of different moving pieces. This one feels very refreshing because it doesn't remind me of any other fantasy book that I've read so far. It feels very unique, and you can't say that about a lot of other popular fantasy books. So I'm having a really good time. I'm trying not to give too much away about the plot because this is a sequel, but know that I am really enjoying it.
Okay, we're just going to keep on reading and finish our books and then come back and update you guys with our final thoughts.
You guys, we have just finished our books.
I enjoyed mine. I've had a fun time. I really enjoyed the first half a lot more than the second half. I think the second half was just, I hate reading about miscommunication. I did like these two characters together, and I did like the different representations that the story had. But I just wish that the story was spaced out just a little bit differently. I think I would have liked it a lot more if that was the case. The author actually does have the spice scenes go kind of like fade to black. She never really goes into full detail. So I know a lot of readers are constantly looking for romance books like that. So I would definitely recommend this one. I think I'm gonna have to agree with GoodReads on this one. I think it's a 3.5 for me. I enjoyed it. I had a good time reading it, but it definitely wasn't my favorite in any way. But I thought it was a solid read.
I'm gonna agree with my GoodReads review for this book too and give it like a 4.5, which is a perfect book on my rating scale. This one's so good, you guys. This was like fantastic, which is crazy because I think I might have even enjoyed this one more than the first one, but I think that does happen with me regarding sequels because I think everything's just a bit more fast-paced. You already are familiar with the world and the characters, so it's just watching everything kind of come to light and all of the action. While I was reading the book, I thought that I would like to see way more books in this series just because I like the world and the characters, but I think she did a really good job of wrapping everything up, and I feel very content with the way that it ended. I think any more than just a duet would have felt a little dragged out, so this author proved me wrong. She did an excellent job.
Original and not dragged out?
I mean, it's the perfect combination. No wonder this duet got so popular. I do agree with the hype. I can see why this is one of the highest rated GoodReads books that were on my TBR, and I highly recommend. Definitely check it out. I got really emotional at the end, and I wasn't expecting that. Come on, Rachel Gillig. I wonder if she has any other books or series. I would definitely read more by her.
Well, that is pretty much it for today. It's a solid reading day. Tomorrow we are going to read our second book. Mine is going to be my highest and yours is going to be your lowest. So we'll see how we do with that. But today was really fun, so we will see you guys tomorrow. Now it is the next day. We do have to read our second book. Laura needs to read her lowest rated book and I need to read my highest rated book.
So the lowest rated book on GoodReads for my February TBR was Rouge by Mona Awad. So that is what I'm going to be reading today. This copy was actually from Aardvark, so I'm so happy to finally be reading one of the Aardvark books. On GoodReads, this has a 3.62 rating with a little over 16,000 ratings. So not too bad. I feel like that's kind of average for a GoodReads book, but it was the lowest one on my personal TBR for the month. The inside does say a horror tinge gothic fairy tale though, so I'm very interested. I think I'm gonna like it.
My highest rated book on my February TBR was Saint by Adrienne Young, which is not surprising to me, but it does have a 4.22 rating on GoodReads. The only thing is it only has 8,456 ratings, which is actually really surprising to me because I kind of thought that the Fable duology was a little more popular than that. I guess people just haven't read the prequel yet, but this is the prequel of the Fable duology. You guys have heard us talk about the Fable duology all the time. We are constantly recommending it. These books are a YA fantasy romance that involves a lot of adventure and pirates, and it's just a lot of fun. And this book is actually going to cover Fable's parents, Saint and Isolde, and we obviously know about them from Fable's books, but Saint has always been quite the character in her books, and he's always been a character that I've been so curious about. So I'm really happy that we finally get a book of his own and we get to go back and see her parents and how they met and their whole love story. So I can't wait to get into this one. So those are the books that we're going to be reading. We have another full day of reading ahead of us, so we're going to go ahead and get started and then update you guys in a little bit. little bit. How are you liking yours?
For some reason, I thought maybe I would have a better grasp on what's happening in her books after reading Bunny, since I read that one so early on in my reading journey. But that's not the case. I still have almost no idea what I'm reading about, but I kind of love that too. I think that's just like the reading experience she creates. She does a really good job at blurring the lines between what's real and what's not. So the reader's definitely left in the dark a lot of the time. I kind of just like to watch the story unfold, and then at the end, that's when I kind of start piecing things together. But right now, we are following a girl named Belle. She has just lost her mother, who she had a complicated relationship with growing up. Belle has always been obsessed with like skincare routines and beauty and youth and things like that, just like her mom was. After her mom passes, she returns back home and is kind of just dealing with the aftermath. She's in a lot of debt now. She's trying to like figure out what to do with the home and things like that. Already like super weird stuff is starting to happen. She has an encounter with like a strange woman in red, and there's like a bunch of stuff going on, but basically she's kind of like lured to this mysterious spa. It's definitely giving cult-like vibes already, but she was led there because her mom was like a member and like very devoted to it. So she's just trying to figure out like what kind of happened. She's exploring. This author just has a really unique way of writing. Everything's always really strange and enchanting. There's a lot of double meanings and a lot of metaphors and a lot of symbolism. I'm trying to catch as many as I can. I hope not too much is going over my head. There's a lot of things that just leave you with an unsettling feeling. I am already seeing those horror aspects throughout the book. It's not even that it's scary. It's just so off-putting and uncomfortable that you're like, what is going on? I'm having a really fun time with it though. It's already been quite a journey. I have no idea where it's going to go, but I can't wait to find out. I think this time around, knowing at least what I'm kind of getting myself into has helped, because Bunny was very, very confusing for me.
So I'm already really enjoying mine. It's going really good. I knew I was going to love it. So we start off by seeing Saint, and he is pretty much about to get everything that he's been wanting. He's about to get a ship, he's about to get a license, he's about to get a crew that will basically allow him to trade in the Narrows, so just basically a way to earn money. But then he ends up meeting a young dredger, and a dredger is basically just a person who goes diving for things of value. And so he meets this one, and her name is Isolde, or Isolda, or Isolde, which is Fable's mom, as we know, and she is just such a character. She's so cute, but she has ran away from her past, and she does have all kinds of secrets of her own. But it's just been really fun being back in this world, and I'm enjoying seeing the background of Saint and Isolde, and also Saint and his best friend Clove. It's bittersweet getting all of that background information that we didn't know in the Fable duology, so I'm having a really fun time.
That's pretty much it so far though. That's it for update 1. We are going to continue reading and then catch up with you guys in a little bit. We have stopped for our second update. I don't really want to give you much about the plot, because if you want to read this book or any Mona Awad book, I would suggest just going into it blind, because that's just the best way to experience it. Things are just getting progressively worse for our main character, and it's a sad thing to watch happen. I always love it whenever we have an unreliable narrator, just because it adds another layer to the storytelling. And our narrator right now is it's pretty chaotic. It's pretty crazy being inside her head. So I'm ready for this last chunk of the book. I can't wait to see how she's gonna end it. This has been a really fun one though.
Mine's going really good so far. I am just like flying through it. Like I don't even feel like I'm sitting here reading. I feel like I'm in the Narrows actually. Like I'm actually on the ship. I'm a full-on dredger. I don't feel like I'm here, which is amazing. I think it's really cute the way that Saint is with Isolde. It's like he is very much like touch her and you die kind of man, which is really hot. But something else that I noticed was their relationship was kind of like insta-love, and normally that would bother me, but like this is mom and dad, you know? So I'm not bothered at all by it. Like, of course you fell in love with mom like right away. I had seen a few people in the book community wondering if they should read Saint first before going into the Fable duology, since this technically does take place first, but I already know I would not recommend you doing that, just because I feel like it means so much more to the reader knowing who these people are. It's just such a sweet experience to see how they were in the past and knowing how they are now. I feel like if you just went into this book without even knowing anything about this world, you probably wouldn't even be interested, and it might be a little bit confusing, so I definitely don't recommend doing that. I honestly don't want the story to end because I'm having such a good time reading it, but I'm interested to see how they're gonna wrap this all up.
So that's it for our second update. We are going to finish off these books and then we'll come back and update you guys whenever we're done. Guys, we have just finished our second books. I truly loved mine. I wasn't sure about it there in the middle, but I ended up actually really loving it. Was it terrifying and unhinged? Definitely. Did I still love it? Absolutely. I can see why it's my lowest rated on GoodReads out of all the other books I have, just because reading is subjective and I feel like Mona Awad's prose is so unique. This story was gothic and surreal. It covered the complexities of mother-daughter relationships, grief, trauma, the negatives in the beauty industry. It was twisted and absurd, but also brilliant. I had a really good time with this one. I think I might give it like a 4.5. This was insane, and it definitely still gave fever dream. Like, a lot of the time I was like, what is actually happening? But I think that's what makes it perfect. 2 for 2, you guys, this video. I do own one other Mona Awad book. I was supposed to read it in January and I didn't get around to it, but now I am definitely going to move that up on my priority list because I really enjoyed this one. Go read it if you haven't already. It's crazy and twisted, but it's very good.
The ending of the story was so good and unexpected, and then the last line of the book seriously had my mouth on the floor. Like, what did I even just read? It's crazy how it just all kind of ties in together. Adrienne Young just writes in such a beautiful way that always has me completely immersed in whatever story she writes. Every single book that I've read in this series, I've absolutely loved. I honestly feel like I want more. I want more from this story. I think that's my only complaint, is that I don't want it to be over. I want to know. I think we should have a Isolde book, or Isolde.
She said she would continue writing in this world forever. I know that there's a spin-off with 2 of the crew members that were from Fable.
Oh yeah.
But it was like a novella.
I just think there could be one more book, and it could be Isolde's book. They're just so much fun, and I don't ever want it to be over. Maybe I should go read those novellas. But yeah, I'm also interested in reading something else of hers. I know I just got The Unmaking of June Farrow, which you loved, and we still need to read Spells for Forgetting, so I do have a few other options to read of hers, and I will definitely be doing that soon. I am going to give this book a 4 stars. The rating was 4.22 on GoodReads, so I agree, which was actually pretty surprising to me because I feel like most of the time I don't really agree with whatever the GoodReads rating is. But I think that's what was so fun about today's video. It's just kind of going through our highest and lowest rated books on our TBR and seeing if we agree with that.
That's pretty much it for today's video though. Let us know if you liked this type of reading vlog. It's a new one for us and we had a lot of fun doing it, so maybe we could do more of these in the future. In the comments, you guys can also let us know what your highest and lowest rated books on GoodReads were for February and if you agreed with that. That's pretty much it for today's video though. Make sure to join our book club if you haven't already. We will be putting up the March poll pretty soon, so if you want to choose what we're going to read in March, make sure to go vote. That link will be in the description. The Magic Mind link will also be in the description along with our discount code, so make sure to check that out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you guys next time.